Hello and welcome to Exploring the Fascinating World of Cat Genetics. In this video, we'll be taking a deep dive into the world of cat genetics and learning about the factors that contribute to a cat's appearance, behavior, and health. Did you know that there are over 70 breeds of domestic cats, each with its own unique characteristics? From Siamese cats with their striking blue eyes and distinctive coat patterns, to Maine Coons with their fluffy coats and big personalities, the diversity of cat breeds is truly astonishing. But how did all of these different breeds come to be? And what determines a cat's appearance, behavior, and health? The answers lie in genetics. Before we dive into the details of cat genetics, let's take a brief look at the history of cat breeding. Cats have been domesticated for thousands of years, with the first domesticated cats likely coming from Egypt. Throughout history, people have selectively bred cats for various purposes, such as for hunting, pest control, or simply for companionship. This selective breeding has played a major role in the creation of the many different cat breeds we see today. Now let's talk about the basics of cat genetics. Every living organism has genes, which are the basic units of heredity that carry information from one generation to the next. Genes are made up of DNA, which contains the instructions for building and maintaining an organism's body. Each gene has one or more versions called alleles, which can be dominant or recessive. A dominant allele will always be expressed, while recessive alleles will only be expressed if there is no dominant allele present. This is important because it determines how traits are inherited from parents to the offspring. For example, if a cat has one dominant allele for a certain trait and one recessive allele, it will have the trait that is associated with the dominant allele. If both alleles are recessive, the cat will have the trait that is associated with the recessive allele. So how does all of this relate to a cat's appearance? Well, genetics plays a major role in determining a cat's coat patterns, colors, and other physical characteristics. For example, the Siamese cat's distinct coat pattern is caused by a dominant allele that results in a lack of pigment in the coat. On the other hand, the Maine Coon's fluffy coat is caused by a dominant allele for long hair. But genetics isn't about appearance only. It can also influence a cat's personality and behavior. For example, some studies have shown that genetics may play a role in a cat's tendency to be more outgoing or more timid. Additionally, genetics can also play a role in a cat's health. Just like in humans, cats can be prone to certain genetic disorders such as hip dysplasia or heart defects. These disorders can be prevented or managed through responsible breeding practices. Speaking of responsible breeding practices, it's important to consider the ethical implications of cat breeding. Inbreeding or breeding closely related cats can increase the risk of genetic disorders and other health problems. On the other hand, selective breeding for certain traits can also have negative consequences, such as the exaggeration of certain physical traits that may compromise a cat's well-being. To conclude, the world of cat genetics is truly fascinating and complex. From the history of cat breeding to the factors that influence a cat's appearance, behavior, or health, there is much to learn about this subject. It's important to remember the ethical considerations of breeding and to support responsible breeding practices that prioritize the well-being of cats. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of cat genetics and that you learned something new about these beloved animals. If you have any further questions or would like to learn more, be sure to check out some of the other resources listed in the descriptions below. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click like and hit the subscribe button for more fun and educational content.